Good evening, my fellow exorcists, and welcome to the Lair of the Film Exorcist. Tonight, we will be taking a look at Escape Room, Tournament of Champions. 6 people unwittingly find themselves locked in another series of escape rooms, slowly uncovering what they have in common to survive. Joining forces with 2 of the original survivors, they soon discover they've all played the game before. Now, into my opinion, this movie is fucking brilliant. I came out of that theater wondering what is real and what is not, because of how confusing the ending was. First off, we'll never know who really survived this game, and we never will unless the director wants us to. I also really like the recap that they gave at the beginning of the movie, giving pretty much doing what most game shows would do right before the beginning of a game, so that both the audience and the player will have a refresher of the clues and of the question. Now, I think it's time we get into spoilers.
Wait a minute.
It's because I don't think I can go any further without doing it.
This isn't my world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally hit the spoiler part of the movie.
Disappointed!
So I encourage you to leave now if you haven't seen the first movie, my review on the first movie, and the movie itself, because I promise you from this point on, the spoilers start.
Disappointed!
So like I said before, I am still trying my best to figure out the entire movie, because it keeps you thinking if any of the characters were real or just actors, or maybe even robots. And by doing this, they pretty much took the old trope of the movie ending in a big reveal and completely turned it on its head. I mean, they've done it with Happy Birthday to Me, they did it with April Fool's Day. We did get Amanda, who came back and pretty much gave us the reason why, which is, if you don't see the person die, then they're not actually dead. Despite thinking that she snapped or broke her neck in the last one when she fell from the pool table. This kind of implies that maybe Rachel, Bree, Father Nathan, and Theo aren't dead, and they could be alive because we don't officially see them dead. I mean, the camera turns away when we're supposedly watching Rachel and Bree die by the acid rain. We don't see anything under the sand after Nathan goes down and after Rachel almost dies in the sand. Plus, Ben comes back from said sand and ends up in a water torture tank. Technically, it's implied that the only one that really died was Theo at the beginning. Oh, and yeah, the guy at the beginning whose name is never mentioned, which kind of a problem. But yeah, his name is never mentioned. His name is Theo. Supposedly it was said somewhere, but nobody heard it. But also, I also like to say that I found it brilliant that the therapist's office was one big reveal of the escape room itself, telling us what was going to happen without us even knowing, while also making us wonder if Zoe and Ben aren't just living in this big escape room that never ends. And to be honest, I think we, the viewers, have also been placed in our own escape room just by watching this movie, because now the director has us constantly wondering what's real and what's not, playing on everybody's fear that their life isn't real, and they're just living in this massive simulation controlled by multiple people. And I can understand, I mean, like I said before, I'm still thinking about this movie. I'm still wondering who this organization is, who the mastermind is, because we've only seen his face blacked out, and we've never heard his original voice. And, we don't know how much influence he has. I mean, it's pretty big if you can control both a police station and most of New York, plus a subway station and a plane. I mean, wow. How big is this organization? Like I said, we don't know if any of this is real. it hurts my brain just to think about it, but this is amazing, and there's so much we haven't figured out about these movies yet. It's awesome. I mean, this director did what most people couldn't do, and that is make you constantly think about the outcome of the movie and what it truly means. I mean, despite what everyone else says, this guy and his team of writers are brilliant and just awesome at what they do. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, the bank escape room that the cast is trapped in is pretty much an Easter egg from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade by having Father Nathan literally take a walk of faith. There's also an 8-ball on the brick wall after the main cast supposedly escapes the building, which connects to Amanda's supposed death in the first movie. And I'm still excited about learning that the police officer's name was Freddie Will, which is supposed to be free will, spelled wrong, like the book in the therapist's office, which was Free Will, How to Stop the Train of Doubt, or something like that. Or the Train of Fate. Now, I get many people seem to have a problem with the characters because they don't all have these big backstories that make them interesting, but this time around, I didn't care. Unlike the original, the backstory doesn't matter, and I mean, really, the only backstory we got was a connection to Amanda, and you don't even know if that's real. And we don't even know if they actually went through escape rooms. I mean, half the escape rooms could have been fake. I mean, not fake, but really well done movie sets. I mean, we really don't know. Like I said, we also added to Amanda's backstory. Even now, we don't even know if that was just a story or if it was the truth. We don't even know if Amanda has a daughter named Sonia. I really can't understand why so many people hate this movie, because it does better than most movies at trying to confuse you and make you think about everything the director threw at you. Honestly, I didn't even see this as a horror movie. I saw it as a balls-to-the-wall thriller that no matter how much I think about it, I'll never truly know the full story. And I'm still waiting to know who the head of Minos is, which makes this a better movie than even Saw, because Saw told us right away who the killer was, and this one does one better and doesn't tell you anything about the killer other than he runs this massive organization, which makes you wonder who's a part of the organization and who's paying to watch these escape room experiences. I'd also like to say that I thought the bank and the beach rooms were a lot harder to figure out, because I still think with the beach room that if the characters move the little girl's head, that the anchor would have been easier to receive. Or it might have done something interesting, because if you notice, on the mannequin's head, it was very movable, and it was on a track. So I wonder, we never figure out what you could do with that. And with the bank, I had trouble figuring out that they had to turn the safe handle to find the next clue when they said, money makes the world turn, so don't let it stop. Now, I guess compared to the other reviews, I must be the biggest idiot, because I enjoyed this movie for the mysteries and for the overall premise. To be honest, I still can't see why so many people found Hereditary more interesting than this amazing movie. So yeah, maybe I'm missing something that these other reviewers are seeing, but I mean, I love this movie, and I can't wait to see what they do for the next movie, because the overall story was so fantastic. I also found it interesting that Minos did all this just to get Zoe to get over her fear of flying, so that she would be caught in the same escape room that we saw at the end of the first movie. Oh, and I also think that maybe Rachel was a robot, because of her lack of nerves and because the metal detector beeped when it was in front of her face, unless maybe she has some kind of a metal plate in her head. But I'm sticking with the robot theory. So yeah, this movie is a 10 out of 10 for me, and again, I can't wait to see what Adam Robitel and the writing team will do next. And I'd recommend this to anyone else who loves to think about the movie that they just saw, instead of relying on the idea that every movie needs to have this set plot and these massively interesting characters that have these exciting backstories. I mean, honestly, I think everyone's set in their ways now, and that's why it's so hard to like these movies, because you're so used to these formulas and you want to know all this information instead of wanting to be surprised and wanting something new and inventive, which is a big problem with today, and it makes me sad to see that so many people would rather see the same thing over and over again instead of something new and inventive. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click the bell for more videos like this one. And if you do all this, then maybe the YouTube Game Master will finally let us escape the 310 subscribers escape room. So have a great night, guys, and may we all escape before time runs out.